Like that.
Good morning and welcome to AM News Network presents the Morning Report with Rachel Baird.
Can you talk this morning?
We're here every Monday through Thursday from 7 to 7:30 a.m.
We try.
We are transmitting live from the American News Media Center studio in Harwinton, Connecticut. I'm Rachel Baird. This is Ed Peruta. Saturdays from 4 to 6 as well. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Rachel.
What do you want to talk about first?
Well, first of all, we have our Thursday co-host in the building because his wife woke up and told him you have a show today, and he realized it's Wednesday, not Thursday. Mm-hmm. You know, it was like, come back, get your lunch, turn your phone on. So poor Chris, he's got to do everything Sabrina.
Yeah, well, good for him because
okay, now,
we're glad he's here.
He has the capability right now to call in to Skype.
Why does our studio seem darker today? Does it seem darker?
No, don't worry about it.
Okay.
He's trying to figure this out, and he's going to call in on Skype because I want to try this. Uh-oh.
Oh, this is exciting.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
At the bottom. Do the bottom. Okay. Here we go.
Hold on a minute. You got to hit the camera to make it. Okay. Somebody's calling in. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Do we have a problem?
Morning report. Real bad buzz in your sound.
Okay, we'll get rid of it. Don't worry about it
What's
right
in
now.
That film?
Okay,
Supposedly
we got a buzz.
A buzz?
Now hold on a minute. I got to figure out. He's got to be able to turn his. Hold on a minute. I got to come out there for a minute.
So what we're trying to do is have our Thursday co-host Chris Janko is trying to call in on Skype right now to test it for the future. So Ed is outside with Chris looking into that. So I'm going to begin. Is that okay, Master Control? I can just start the show, right? Yeah. So what we were going to be discussing today, once we get past the Skype issue, is Project Longevity. And I had an opportunity to look up some information on Project Longevity. Ed had made a request for information about the program. And all we know about it is in 2013, we went to a CJPAC meeting where all the commissioners and the head of agencies meet with the Office of Policy and Management to discuss whatever they discuss, issues. And that was the first we had heard of Project Longevity, and it's a federally funded program where organizations, agencies in Connecticut.
I don't want to interrupt you, but he's got to go. He's got to go, and then
yeah.
we're going to get into this. But we have Chris Janko. Hold the camera away from you a little bit.
Is the public seeing that?
No.
No.
No, but hold the camera up.
What's he doing?
Okay, you got to get your pic. There you go, right there. Okay, now if Master Control will put it onto the Skype camera.
Uh-huh. Wow, nice close-up, Chris.
Okay, so. He's been taking hits.
I thought the appointment of Jeff Sessions was problematic at the beginning because I somewhat see Jeff Sessions as a John McCain sort of figure whose time has sort of passed.
Right.
You know, there may have been a time, but the time is no longer, and he's just not in the moment that we're in right now. That's the way I view him.
Okay, now I got to figure out how this works here. I guess I'm going to try to get out of it.
That's a close-up of Chris's mouth.
Yeah,
nice smile.
He's got good teeth.
He does.
He's got good teeth. I'm hanging up the phone.
Oh my God, get get out
Hey,
of
can
here.
you do an impression for us? Somebody.
Oh, he's off air now. Oh, here he comes.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay.
And we're going to see you tomorrow, right?
We have to figure out how to hang up. There's hang up right there. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Whew, that was crazy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
well,
much.
at least
Yeah.
we know it goes like this.
Have a great day, Chris. Oh, that was great.
Okay, so let's go back to
Project Longevity.
Project Longevity. Project Longevity is in other places. Oh, here we go.
Oh, boy. Maybe let Dan go. Let Dan get it. We'll take
Okay.
care of it.
Project Longevity, or programs similar to Project Longevity, are in other areas of the country also. In Connecticut, it's called Project Longevity. And it is supported by federal and state grants.
Yeah, but I'm going to correct you on that. They're called grant pass-throughs. So it comes from federal money, state, but the money passes through the state to organizations, but it gives the state some control
Similar
over
to-
how the project is run.
Similar to Medicaid. Medicaid is a federal program, but it's managed by the state.
Okay.
Okay, now, the reason that I'm looking at this is if you read the paper, okay? This is this morning's Waterbury Republican. I saw it here, I think. Well, it goes like this. Justice Department
Yeah.
is now looking at sanctuary cities, saying we're going to cut off your funds. I saw an article last night and this morning where Mayor Harp in New Haven, Connecticut, the city of New Haven, I guess, has printed up an English-only brochure for emergency tips for immigrants or people that are here illegal. What do? Well, you run to a church and you hide. And they're saying, well, it's only in English right now, it'll be in Spanish. Well, who's paying for this brochure? And then they say that they're going to be passing out the brochure.
And you know what? You know what I say? The people who elected Tony Harp in New Haven, perhaps they're the ones paying for it as well. It should be, but is the state paying for it in some way, which I would object to.
Yeah, well,
And
exactly.
why is the DCF commissioner Joette Katz down there stumping for this?
Right, now let's go.
Doesn't she have enough to do with abused and neglected children in Connecticut?
Let's go back now to Project Longevity. Project Longevity is funded with federal dollars. And Project Longevity puts money into Bridgeport, New Haven, and Hartford.
Let me tell you.
Two of which-
The first year that Project Longevity received funding in Connecticut was in 2015. And it went to University of New Haven. Okay? If I find more information, I'll butt in.
Let me. I filed an FOI request with the Office of Policy and Management.
Yeah, I called you yesterday, right?
Right. And I also sent the FOI request to the Comptroller's office and to the various New Haven, Bridgeport, and Hartford Project Longevity offices. And I'm basically saying, I want to know where your money comes from and where your money goes and who's getting the money.
So in 2015, University of New Haven was the only entity to get Project Longevity funding, and that was $150,000.
Right.
That was 2015. In 2016, Project longevity got $940,000. So we go from 146 to 940 in 2016, and that 940 was apportioned among the University of New Haven, the City of New Haven, and the City of Hartford. Are you keeping track here?
That was in 16.
Yep. And in 17, obviously the last year we have statistics because that fiscal year just ended. 799,000, so it went down 140,000, right? 2016 was the top year.
You know something, Rachel? Because this is so new to us, this website, I'm not going to get involved in the exact numbers, but they're big numbers.
Okay, but I don't care about the numbers either exactly. Right. I care about who it goes to.
Exactly.
So the first year was University of New Haven. The second year, what? Are we having a problem with the sound?
I don't know. Cell phones.
Okay. So in 2017, the third year, fiscal year, where Connecticut got money to pass through to agencies, the University of New Haven again, the City of Bridgeport now, the Justice Education Center.
That's in West Hartford.
And the South Central Chiefs got $230,000 in fiscal year 2017 for Project Longevity. That's where we want to know what they wrote the checks for.
Right, but one of the reasons why I have made the FOI request is at least 2 of the 3 cities that I know are named, and the 3 cities in Connecticut are Bridgeport, Haven, and Hartford.
But they don't all get the money every year.
There are 3 cities with Project Longevity programs, and they may incorporate surrounding towns, South Central Chiefs, whatever, but what I'm saying is 3 cities.
Right.
2 of those cities that I know of, New Haven and Hartford, have declared themselves to be sanctuary cities. And they are spending money to print up emergency what to do brochures, etc., etc. And I want to know, are those federal funds that have come down to the cities that are sanctuary, declared themselves sanctuary cities, and are they using any Project Longevity money or any money at all to print these brochures?
Why can't we print brochures for firearms about what to do when the police come to your house to confiscate your firearms?
Right.
Why can't we
and
use
they
city money to do
say,
that?
I saw New Haven Mayor Tony Harp this morning, or somebody was explaining the brochure saying, we're going to pass them out in the schools, we're going to pass them out. And the first thing I said was, well, I got some shit I want passed out in the schools. So why can't we hand the city some brochures? They pass these out in the school, please.
I'm going to see if this
Well, so what we're really talking about here is the federal government serious about cutting off federal funds to cities that declare themselves to be sanctuary cities and promote and practice sanctuary city style policies and procedures? Because if that's the case, and that's all federal funds, or not all federal funds, certain federal funds, but there should be no money from the federal government going to New Haven or Hartford if in fact they've declared themselves and are practicing sanctuary city policies and procedures.
Family Immigration Emergency when the country attempts to enforce laws. You know, that is a metaphor for what goes on. It is now in the United States an emergency when laws are enforced. I mean, it's one thing not to enforce the laws, but it's another to declare an emergency when there's an attempt to enforce the laws. I think it's an emergency when some of the laws in Connecticut are enforced. How about, I bet there are some people in Connecticut who thinks it's an emergency when Public Act 13-3 is enforced.
Huh.
You know, nobody seemed to, rise, nobody in government seemed to rise to the occasion for that. I think we need to pass out booklets in school about the emergency of the violation of Fourth Amendment rights when it comes to firearms. Pass out booklets in schools about that.
And, with 14 minutes left, let's see if we can do this. Let's talk about Project Longevity. Let's talk about the federal funds that are coming into the state, passing through the state to these entities that are spending the money. Okay, cut it off. Sanctuary cities, cut it off. I happen to agree. I listen to WTIC 1080 radio when I'm in my car. I try to listen to Jim Weisfich between 9 and noon, and you can get him on the internet, WTIC 1080 AM in Hartford. And the question came like this. We have a woman in New Haven who was ordered by ICE Customs to get on a plane and go back to Guatemala. She claims that she's born 4 children who, because they were born here, are American citizens, and she's a single mother. So she's been ordered to go back to Guatemala, leaving her 4 children, I guess, unattended in the state of Connecticut in the United States. Somebody called in and asked the question. I don't know whether it was somebody that he was interviewing or just a caller that came in, but it really struck a note. He said, I guess she's a housekeeper or domestic maid or whatever, supporting 4 children. How much does she make as a domestic?
You can make a lot. It depends who you're domestic for.
And maybe they give you housing, maybe they give you meals at the table, but the question I have is this. Are any of the children born to the illegal in the United States getting subsistence from either the state or the federal government to survive as a family unit? One more thing, and then I'm going to let you go.
Well, I don't have to go anywhere.
If you are going to have children, and you're going to put those children in harm's way somewhere, somehow in the future, that's child abuse.
Please, I don't like to go to those extreme arguments.
Okay,
when you start being judgmental about people's choices to have children or not have children, you could look at everybody.
No, Rachel, you're missing the point. Maybe my phrases are wrong, but my question is this. When she had the children, she knew they were going to be U.S. citizens. When she had the children, she knew that she was illegal. So she knew that at some point in the future, she may be deported back to Guatemala. What is going to happen with the children? To the 4 U.S. citizens who cannot support themselves? And if you take away...
Well, I mean, she could make the argument that's often made in court is she reasonably relied on the failure of the United States government to enforce its immigration laws and believed that they would never be imposed on her.
We need to get into... So yesterday, I was speaking to someone in the comptroller's office who told me that there was a website in the state of Connecticut called Open Checkbook.
Right. And it seems to be a program that's used throughout the United States by government agencies, by state governments, to show people where the money's
I
going.
had never heard of it.
Right.
I now know about it.
Yep.
But I'm looking for even more detailed information.
Yeah.
That I think is going to be like pulling teeth.
It's open checkbook.
So why don't we do this? Because we've got a show coming Saturday. You and Chris are on tomorrow. We're kind of running out of time because there's something I want to touch on.
Okay, go ahead.
Yesterday, I received a flurry of notices by email, Facebook, all over the place, that the First U.S. District Court of Appeals in Washington, D.C.
No, not the first, the D.C. Court of Appeals.
I'm sorry, the
Yeah.
D.C. Court of, first is in Boston.
Yep.
The D.C. Court of Appeals in Washington, D.C. had rendered a decision, and it was similar to my 2014 decision, 2-1, 3 judges, 2-1, and again, it said just cause cannot be limited. You know, you've got to accept.
You can't have that extra requirement.
You can't have the extra requirement.
Right.
Now, I believe that.
Let's see, should we try this? Howard, good morning.
Got a hell of a hum going on there.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. What I did was I put in some new lights.
Oh, you think that's it?
Okay, I put in some new lights, and I'll have to track down the hum.
What do you think? It's the wiring or something?
I don't know, but for some reason that light right there isn't on.
Yeah.
So yesterday
I got something for the two of you. I'm gonna be quick, unlike what I normally am, and I'm gonna leave you with an idea. You do what you want. Okay? But here's my idea on how to save America. I can save America, the whole shebang. Take time, but I can save the United States of America. And here's how you do it. You pass one law. You make mandatory the children, starting in grade school, are taught logic. Logic. I guarantee you that the Democrats will die. Because if children thought logically, they become logical thinkers as adults and in their teen years. And when somebody like a Democrat would say to them, you know, we got to get rid of the guns because, well, the guns are doing really bad stuff. And, well, yeah, I know they used a knife, but we got to get rid of the guns. They would say, that's not logical. Like they would take every idea that the Democrats have come up with and say it's not logical. Now, they may also come up with what the Republicans come out with and say, hey, that's not logical either. So we may have a whole new party that gets created just by logical thinking. Imagine if people thought logically instead of emotionally.
Well, I agree with that.
Well, so the whole premise of the Democrats, and I think the Republicans too, because the Republicans, what the hell are they doing down there? Doing nothing. They're down there, they're making trouble, they're fixing nothing, and they just perpetuate this whole thing where they lose. The Democrats get some control, then they get all the control, and then they screw everything else up again. If the people thought logically, emotionally, you'd have no future for either party as they stand now. They would have to adapt. Democrats can adapt because I don't think they can be logical. And the people that can think logically, that can be taught logic, then reject all the nonsense that they're told today.
Howard.
It's not logic.
Howard.
Yes.
Logic, and let me, because I want to bang through a couple of topics real quick based on logic. Rachel has made comments for several years about they're trying to make the world, the country, sex neutral. In other words, Metro said, go get your nails done, you know, they're trying to make men into women and women into men. And I'm not talking about transgender and identity. I'm talking about the way you act. You know, like men aren't supposed to be aggressive. Well, yeah, they are.
Right, you're talking about people who are confused.
Right. Well, but hold on a minute. And now I'm reading in the paper that in Western civilization, the male sperm count's going down. So what's going to happen when we don't have any good sperm anymore? You know, I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, the maleness of a male, I guess, can be found in his genes to procreate with the sperm. But if the sperm's gone, that's one over there. And I am just totally confused because I agree with you on logic. For example, logic. Every positive 3-judge panel that's ruled in favor of the Second Amendment, they want to take it to an en banc panel that overrides the 3-judge panel. Logic. Don't have any more 3-judge panels. Have everything heard en banc. Then you get a true representation of what's going on.
Because if it's a problem with one issue, then why is it a problem with all of them?
Right. You know, and it boggles your mind. But, you know, my hat goes off. Alan Gottlieb's Second Amendment Foundation, Alan Gura, brought the case. And, you know, theirs could end up just like mine until it gets to the Supreme Court. But to me, it is... Well, you know, you're going to hear this from me. Howard, it's yours for the last 2 minutes. I agree with you. If people start to think logically, a lot of shit that's going on won't go on.
I'm not. I don't know what would need to happen to have logic taught in grade school and up, because teachers who are in the schools right now, I do not believe that they were taught logic. I do not believe most are capable of teaching logic, and so you're going to have to raise a whole new crop of teachers of a different type to implement that.
I was shocked
because education degrees now are based more on touchy-feely feelings, things like that.
Yeah.
It's about as far away from logic as you can get, I think.
Go ahead, Howard.
Purposely far away from logic. But haven't you looked at what they do? Some of these courts have come up with rulings, and you shake your head.
Oh.
How in the hell did they
Oh,
come up with that?
please. Hey, that we are. I could give you 3 examples. How do you justify seizing evidence and then applying to a judge to get a warrant to seize the evidence from the evidence room where the evidence already is?
That's not logical.
That drives me nuts, and that's a decision here in
But
Connecticut.
let's go back to you know, I was shocked when I found out that they no longer teach cursive writing in the schools. Well, okay, you can print, okay, you got this. But I remember 20 years ago when liberal America wanted to teach, especially in San Francisco, out in California, wanted to teach Ebonics in the schools. And there was a national uproar. Oh, what do you mean you're going to teach Ebonics? In other words, we were supposed to learn how to talk like people that talk in a predominantly colored...
common language.
Yeah,
A
like
common
all
language.
that. Yeah, it's like learning all them LOLs and stuff on Facebook. Exactly, and we don't do it anymore.
And that's how you build a nation, by
And
having
Maureen
a common
Dowd's
language.
talking about 50 top colleges. They don't teach Western civilization anymore. Well, it's crazy, and we're out of time.
Okay.
So listen, we're going to try and get the hum out.
And we got the Skype
And I
almost
believe
up and
we've
running.
got Scump. We've got Skype working, and what you got to look for is either AM News Center or Media Center, and look for it in Harwinton, Connecticut.
Have a great rest of the night or day or whatever it is
And my
where
voice
you
is
are, Howard.
going.
Talk to you
Howard,
later.
stay safe.
Bye, everybody.